The local police were forced to respond after several concerned adults called the authorities to alert them to a young boy who was holding a sign that said he had ice-cold beer for sale. As the obviously minor child was getting big sales, officers responded, and that's when things took a turn. While we all love a child with an entrepreneur's spirit, there are just some business endeavors that aren't meant for children, like selling beer. However, that's exactly what one unnamed boy appeared to be doing on a hot Tuesday afternoon in July in suburban Utah, according to Wink News. He put a twist on the typical lemonade stand, choosing to sell a different kind of ice-cold beverage instead, and it wasn't long before he drew the attention of the Brigham City Police Department. So it comes as no surprise that a minor child with a sign that read, "Ice-cold beer," caused concern for some adults who witnessed the boy standing next to his drink stand with the handwritten advertisement and making big sales in front of a church, CUT reported. But rather than approaching the child, several of those troubled citizens chose to call the Brigham City Police Department to voice their concerns, and it wasn't long before officers were sent out to investigate. All it took was a closer look at the boy's sign for officers to breathe a sigh of relief. It wasn't the bootlegged beer stand that it appeared to be. Instead, right there in some small, hard-to-see green print above the word beer was another word, Act 4 pointed out. It was root, meaning the child was selling ice-cold root beer, which is, of course, alcohol-free and does not require a liquor license or an adult for the sale and/or purchase. After getting to the root of the problem, no pun intended, the Brigham City Police Department decided to take to social media to help alleviate any further concerns for local citizens. This young man in the area of 600 South 200 East has a twist on a lemonade stand. Yep, he's selling beer, root beer, that is, the Becht wrote on their Facebook page alongside a picture of the boy with his sign. As indicated by the slight smirk on the kid's face in the photo as well as the smiley emoji on his sign, he knew he was pulling off a masterful trolling, and he was pretty happy about it. Or maybe that's the look of a young man whose business is booming. His marketing strategy has resulted in several calls to the Becht, but apparently it's sick, paid off as business has been good, the department said in their post. Either way, he looks pleased, and he likely has a promising career in advertising ahead of him. However, he's not the only one who's had this ingenious idea. In fact, others commented on the BCPD's post to share that their own children had done something similar, even sharing pictures of their kiddos with their own deceptive signs, in which root is written so small that it's overlooked. "So my daughter did this as well. She loved it so much," one proud mother wrote. "She did the entire thing by herself, including going to the store and buying her inventory. People weren't very nice to her at all, but she still made the best of it. Stewed in the Vegas heat all day and got a little money for school supplies," she continued before concluding that she loves hearing about kids doing these kind of things. Unfortunately, while it is a pretty sneaky idea that could pay off, we have to warn against it. Although no harm is intended, it does cause alarm, and rightfully so. In this day and age, there are people who will put young children in situations they simply shouldn't be in just to make a quick buck, and concerned neighbors would be right to call the cops if they suspect something inappropriate is going on. In this case, that turned out to be a waste of police resources, but we still applaud these kiddos, their ingenuity, and their work ethic. The story of the young entrepreneur quickly went viral, with many social media users praising the boy's creativity and sense of humor. Memes and comments flooded the Brigham City Police Department's Facebook post, with some jokingly asking for the boy's business hours or requesting delivery options. Others shared their own childhood memories of running lemonade stands, though none quite as clever as this root beer operation. The post became a light-hearted reminder of the innocence and ingenuity of children, even in the face of modern-day concerns. While the boy's prank was harmless, it did spark a broader conversation about the importance of community vigilance. Many commenters on the BCPD's post expressed gratitude for the adults who called the police, noting that it's always better to err on the side of caution when it comes to the safety of children. "I'd rather have someone call, and it'd be nothing than not call and something bad happen," one user wrote. This sentiment was echoed by the police department, which encouraged residents to continue reporting suspicious activity, even if it turns out to be a clever marketing ploy by a young entrepreneur. The boy's parents, who remained unnamed in the reports, were reportedly proud of their son's initiative and creativity. According to neighbors, the family has always encouraged their children to think outside the box and pursue their ideas, no matter how unconventional. They're a great family, and it's no surprise their kid came up with something like this, one neighbor told local media. "He's always been a little jokester, but he's also got a good head on his shoulders." The incident also highlighted the challenges law enforcement faces when responding to calls involving minors. Officers are trained to approach such situations with sensitivity and care, especially when children are involved. In this case, the responding officers handled the situation with humor and professionalism, turning what could have been a tense encounter into a positive community moment. Their decision to share the story on social media not only clarified the situation, but also brought a smile to countless faces. As the story spread, some local businesses even reached out to the boy, offering to support his entrepreneurial spirit. A nearby soda shop offered to supply him with root beer for his stand, while a marketing firm jokingly offered him an internship. "If he's this good at getting attention now, imagine what he'll do in a few years," the firm's owner quipped. The boys' stand, which started as a simple summer activity, had turned into a community-wide celebration of creativity and resourcefulness. However, not everyone was amused by the boys' prank. Some critics argued that the stunt was irresponsible, as it could have led to unnecessary panic or confusion. "What if someone had driven by, seen the sign, and assumed it was real?" One commenter wrote. "It's not funny to play with people's concerns like that." While these concerns were valid, most people agreed that the boys' intentions were harmless and that the situation ultimately brought people together in a positive way. The boys' story also inspired other children in the community to start their own creative ventures. Within days of the incident, several kids in the neighborhood set up their own stands, selling everything from homemade cookies to hand-painted rocks. One child even took inspiration from the root beer stand and set up a mystery drink stand where customers could guess the flavor of the beverage for a discount. The boys' ingenuity had sparked a wave of youthful entrepreneurship in the area. Educators and child development experts weighed in on the incident, praising the boys' problem-solving skills and initiative. "This is exactly the kind of creativity we want to encourage in children," one expert said. "It shows critical thinking, resourcefulness, and a willingness to take risks, all qualities that will serve him well in the future." The boy's story became a case study in how playful experimentation can lead to valuable life lessons, even if it occasionally causes a bit of chaos. The Brigham City Police Department's handling of the situation also earned praise from the community. By sharing the story with humor and transparency, the department not only clarified the situation but also strengthened their relationship with residents. "It's great to see our police department having a sense of humor," one local resident said. "It reminds us that they're part of the community too, and they're here to help, even when it's something as silly as a root beer stand." In the end, the boys' root beer stand became more than just a summer activity. It became a symbol of childhood ingenuity and the power of a good laugh. While the prank may have caused a brief moment of concern, it ultimately brought joy to the community and reminded everyone of the importance of creativity, humor, and looking out for one another. As for the young entrepreneur, he reportedly used his earnings to buy more root beer and supplies for his next venture, proving that even the smallest ideas can lead to big opportunities.